Hello, how are you? Good to see you. It's Water Kefir time, folks. For the purposes of this particular video, we're going to do a very small batch using this tiny little jar. There's some water kefirs in here that are nice and fresh, have been kept in the fridge. And over here is one I prepared earlier. As you can see down the bottom of the vessel, there's quite a few water kefirs there, and they have grown and multiplied over the last week. You'll be surprised how quickly these little things multiply compared to the milk kefir, which does tend to go very slowly. But then once it starts to get going, it starts to pick up a bit, and it gets a little bit silly with that as well. But let's just concentrate on the water kefir for now. So what do we need then? We open up this. If you're starting with a fresh batch of water kefir, chances are you probably have anywhere between a teaspoon and a tablespoon of water kefir that you would have bought off of eBay, somewhere like that. It would probably be about that many. So the best thing you can do is you just stick them in a jar, get a few more, that's it. Best thing you do is stick them in a jar, get an equivalent amount of sugar, cut the sugar in, like that, top up with water, get some lemons. Here's some I prepared earlier, a couple of slices there, plonky plonky. That's about it really, folks. Put the lid on, nice and loose. That's it. Just leave it, literally leave it for 3 days, and then that will be done. And then the next thing you do the following week is you use a bigger vessel. I would move up to something like this, and before you know it, your kefir grains will have multiplied, and you'll have loads of the buggers, and you won't know what to do with them. I started off with a teaspoon, a tablespoon, and look how many I've got here. It's ridiculous, including the ones I've got in here and in 2 other vessels in the other room. I'm using to make some more water kefir there. So what's all this banging on about water kefir for, Roy? Well, I'll tell you why. Because if you suffer from digestive problems, let's say for argument's sake, you're a bit of a old git like me, and you have irritable bowel syndrome, which is not a pleasant thing to have, I can assure you. And it's not necessarily got anything to do with being old, but if you are an old git like me, you want to take every opportunity that you can to try and get some good probiotics into your system, and rather than taking supplements every day, which you have to remember to do. If you do something like this, you just literally have to go to the fridge, get a bottle, have a drink, done. I wouldn't drink more than 250 mLs to start off with. Once you get going though, you can have up to 500 ml a day. I wouldn't go any more than that. You don't really need to, folks. Just do it at your own leisure. This is ready, so what I need to do now is bottle this water kefir, and this will leave me the grains at the bottom, which I'll probably put back into this tub here, although this tub of water kefir grains here, folks, is growing a little bit big. Well, not the tub, but you know, the water grains are water kefir grains are getting a little bit. They're taking over the house, folks. They're taking over the house. So what I want to do really is get the finished water kefir from here and bottle it. What I tend to do is, rather than put it into little bottles, I use the water bottles that I've got the mineral water from. You can get them from any supermarket, folks. I don't have filtered water in the house. I haven't got a filter or anything like that. So you use whatever means possible. You might have a water filter in your house. You might be very posh, and you might be able to afford one. I can't. I'm skint. Send me loads of money. No. Wouldn't that be good if it worked? So all I need to do now is bottle this. So I've got a little sieve here, and as you can see, in part of the funnel, there's an extra metal bit there, and you can pull this in and out, and that's going to catch all the water kefir grains as I pour it into the bottle. I would show you this on camera, but all that's going to be happening is I'm going to be pouring that into that and then putting the bottle away. It's not difficult, folks. The kefir grains will then go back into here, or I might put them back into there, and then we can do another batch with them straight away. You don't wash your water kefir grains either, just use them again. If you want to rest them, then put them into a vessel like this, refresh the water, obviously, put a tablespoon or a teaspoon of sugar in there to start off with, and you keep doing that every week, and then your grains will still grow and grow, but they'll do it at a much reduced rate if they're in the fridge, as if you would just leave them out on the table, then they'll multiply. Very silly, folks. As long as they've got sugar to process, then they will produce more water kefir, and it's good for your belly. So yeah, that's it. That's it, folks. What you could do is you could take a fig and chuck a fig in as well. Give the grains something else to process, and that will chuck in a little bit of flavour into the water as well. So you're not just drinking boring plain old water. And that's it. It really is that simple. What you choose to do with your kefir afterwards is up to you. As I say, you're going to bottle it. You can put some juice in the top there. You can do whatever you want with it, or you can get your Ribena and put it into a glass after you've poured your water kefir out, as if you were going to make yourself a normal Ribena, something like that. That's it, folks. That's all from me. That's how easy it is. It really is easy. Just make sure you get your kefir grains from a reputable dealer. Okay, you need to make sure that you get them from a reputable dealer off of eBay, or there's shops online you can buy them from. They're not very expensive, and once you've got them, you won't have to pay for them again. They'll just multiply. Alright, so that's all from me, folks. I'll see you on the next one. Ta-da!